What if right now your life is quietly slipping into a timeline you never chose? What if the delay, the confusion, the endless waiting is not random, but a signal that you are out of alignment? You've tried everything: meditation, visualization, affirmations, routines. Yet the shift you crave keeps slipping away like smoke through your hands. And so you push harder. You overthink. You plan. You hustle, believing more effort must equal more results. But what if that belief is the very chain holding you back? What if every frantic action is secretly repelling the very reality you desire? Listen carefully. In the quantum field, effort is not power. Energy is. The field doesn't care about your list of tasks. It mirrors your state of being. Chaotic energy? It reflects chaos. Doubt? It reflects delay. But aligned energy? It reflects abundance with terrifying speed. This is not theory. Science has already shown us, through the observer effect, that your focus collapses probability into form. Which version of reality appears depends on the vibration you carry when you look. Think of Ava. She practiced every ritual, every technique, and nothing changed. Until one day she stopped. She let go. She sat in silence. She surrendered. And the very next morning, a new opportunity appeared, as if the universe had been waiting for her signal all along. This is not magic. It is mechanics. The field does not respond to what you say. It responds to what you are. So ask yourself now, what frequency are you broadcasting in this moment? Because the field is listening. And the door to your next reality is not open forever. You stand at an edge. You feel it under your skin. A pressure, an invitation, a low hum that will not be ignored. This is not a whisper of fantasy. It is a signal. It is a summons. You are at a choice point. One path keeps you busy, exhausted, proud of your efforts, and empty of result. The other path wants your attention, not your force. Which will you choose? You have been taught to solve with doing. More steps, more structure, more willpower. And yet the more you pile on, the more the door seems to close. Why? Because the universe reads your inside first. It reads the frequency that you are when you are doing the thing. If you are frantic, the field hears frenzy. If you are desperate, the field hears lack. If you are calm, the field hears enough. Picture a man in New York. He chased deals. He chased recognition. He learned to hustle as a language. He grew successful, and still something hollowed him out. One night he stopped the chase. He sat without scripts. He listened to nothing but his breath. He allowed himself to be small and human and uncertain. In that quiet, he found a rhythm he had lost. Within days, an investor reached out with an offer that changed everything. Coincidence or coherence? This is the pivot. Not more technique, not a longer to-do list. A turn inward, a clearing, a recalibration of your signal. You do not need to invent a new you. You need to stop broadcasting the old you. Stop sending out panic disguised as perseverance. Stop dressing urgency in the clothes of discipline, and begin to carry the frequency of arrival. How does one do this practically? Begin with a breath. Drop the narrative that you are behind. Watch your thought like a weather pattern. Let it pass without constructing the rest of your life around it. Slowly, the body will answer. The nervous system will breathe out of tension. The mind will stop dragging the future into every moment. This is not passive. It is deliberate surrender. You will meet resistance. Old habits will accuse you of laziness. Fear will whisper that you are giving up. That whisper is a test. Answer it with presence. Say no to frantic action. Say yes to calibrated steps that feel aligned and clear. Trust that the field favors clarity over quantity. Remember the observer effect. When you observe, you choose. Your attention is a tool. Aim it like a lens. Stop scattering it. When you hold a steady gaze from a calm place, probability bends. Real things begin to assemble around your quiet center. This is an urgent invitation. Do not treat it like something to research tomorrow. Do not let it pass while you fix the lighting on your to-do list. Right now is the fastest portal you'll get today. Take a breath, recalibrate. Step into the minimal action that vibrates like truth. If you have felt this, write, "I hear you" in the comments now. Declare it to yourself. Plant the signal. Let others witness your choice. Let the field read the new frequency. You are not failing because the timing is wrong. You are failing only when you keep sending the same radio signal and expect a new station. Shift the station. Change your transmission. Align the inside and the outside. There is a moment when momentum flips. You will feel a softening. A door will unseal. An opportunity will arrive not because you forced it, but because you stopped interfering with its entrance. That doorway is closing for some people right now, and it will open for those who choose presence over panic. So stand with more courage than you know. Be gentler than you think you must. Hold the frequency of someone who is already on the other side, and watch how quickly reality prefers to follow. This is your turning point. Choose it with intent. Not tomorrow. Not when conditions feel perfect. Right now. Small aligned moves compound into seismic shifts. Stay steady. Keep your signal pure. Let the field mirror back a reality that matches the quiet power you hold within. The window is open. Walk through it. Make the choice that future you will thank you for, and refuse to return. Not the world out there fighting against you. It is only reflecting you. What if every delay you face is not punishment, but a mirror? What if every obstacle is not resistance, but an echo of your own state of being? Have you ever wondered why you can work harder than ever, plan every detail, follow every method, and still remain stuck? The truth is brutal and simple. The world outside does not lead. It follows. It mirrors you. Look closer. When your energy is chaotic, the field reflects chaos. When your thoughts are frantic, the field reflects confusion. When your heart is calm, the field reflects opportunity. This is not philosophy. This is physics. The field is neutral. It has no bias. It simply mirrors the signal you broadcast every moment of your life. You have been taught that hustle creates success. Push more, work more, prove more. But what if hustle is not power? What if hustle is a red flag? Because in the quantum model, aligned energy is efficient. Aligned energy is magnetic. Aligned energy does not need to overcomp. Think about your own patterns. The late nights, the endless lists, the desperate push to prove you are closer than yesterday. And yet the results slip further away. Why? Because the inner world has not caught up with the outer desire. And the field will always mirror the inner first. Science has already proven it. The HeartMath Institute discovered that when your heart and brain move into coherence, something extraordinary happens. Your nervous system calms. Your emotions stabilize. Your intuition sharpens. You make clearer decisions. You stop broadcasting noise and start transmitting clarity. And clarity is magnetic. So ask yourself, are you broadcasting clarity? Or are you flooding the field with static? Ava's story makes this real. She was devoted. Every morning she journaled. She practiced breath work. She listened to frequencies. She visualized. She did all the rituals that promised results. But nothing shifted. Her finances stayed stuck. Her energy stayed restless. She was drowning in effort, until one day she let go. She stopped trying to manifest. She stopped chasing. She simply sat. She breathed. She cried. She released. And for the first time in months, she felt peace. Not because her life changed, but because her signal changed. Her frequency shifted. The very next day, a job offer landed in her inbox. Out of nowhere. Was it random? No, it was resonance. Her signal aligned. The field mirrored back abundance. This is not magic. It is mechanics. The field is like a mirror that cannot lie. It does not listen to your words. It listens to your vibration. It does not care about the hours you work. It cares about the energy you hold while you work. That is why doing less from the right frequency creates infinitely more than overdoing ever could. So now you must confront a choice. Do you keep running in the old paradigm of hustle? Or do you dare to step into the new model of coherence? The old path will drain you. The new path will free you. The question is not if the field is listening. It always is. The question is what signal you are sending right now. Every thought, every feeling, every belief, all of it broadcasts. All of it is read. All of it becomes matter. And you cannot fake coherence. You cannot pretend peace. The field reads the truth beneath the mask. Pause for a moment. What does your body feel right now? Tightness in your chest? Tension in your jaw? That is the signal you are sending. Not the affirmation you recite. Not the vision board you created. The field hears your nervous system louder than your words. This is the wake-up call. Doing more is not the answer. Being aligned is. This is why Ava succeeded when she stopped. This is why the man who hustled for years found nothing until he calmed his heart. This is why the shift you crave still waits for you. So what do? You begin small. You breathe. You let your heart and brain align. You allow coherence to build. And when coherence comes, opportunities come. When alignment settles, results accelerate. Not through effort, through resonance. If you have pushed yourself into exhaustion and gained nothing, hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are broadcasting noise. And noise does not attract, but clarity does. Peace does. Presence does. This is your invitation. If you have ever worked yourself to the bone and wondered why nothing shifts, press like right now. Do it as a signal to yourself, a release, a declaration that you choose alignment over exhaustion, because your signal is your destiny. And today you can change it. So I ask you now, if the field is a mirror, what reflection do you want to see staring back at you? Because it will not wait. It responds instantly to the signal you broadcast. Not tomorrow. Not when you have perfected the plan. Now. And here is the question that takes us deeper. If the world is only reflecting your state, then how does your body itself act as the antenna broadcasting that signal into the universe? Your body is the most powerful quantum antenna. What if everything you have been chasing, everything you have been asking for, has not been blocked by fate, but by your own nervous system? What if the very signals you send to the universe are scrambled by the tension you carry, the fear you suppress, the stress you never release? Think about it. When you feel unsafe, when your chest is tight, when your breath is shallow, what kind of message do you think your body is broadcasting? It is not abundance. It is not trust. It is survival. And the quantum field responds with precision. It does not judge you. It does not punish you. It simply mirrors what you transmit. If your body is screaming danger, the field reflects delay. If your body whispers safety, the field reflects flow. You have been told that your mind creates reality. But here is the hidden truth. Your nervous system is the transmitter. Your body is the antenna. And no matter how many affirmations you repeat, no matter how many visions you hold, if your nervous system is trapped in survival, your signal is chaos. The field cannot respond with clarity when you are broadcasting static. Science has confirmed this. Neuroscience reveals that your autonomic nervous system operates in two modes: safety or survival. In safety, your body opens, your heart rhythm stabilizes, your brain synchronizes. You enter coherence. In survival, your system tightens, your energy scatters, your heart races. You broadcast fear. This is why two people can speak the same words, hold the same intentions, and yet create entirely different outcomes. Because the body beneath the words tells the truth. So ask yourself now, what is your body telling the field? Is it an open signal of trust? Or is it a closed loop of panic? Picture a veteran in America. He returned from war with a nervous system locked in fight or flight. Every sound, every shadow kept his body on alert. No matter what he tried to build, he could not escape the feeling that danger was everywhere. Opportunities slipped away. Relationships broke down. Abundance stayed out of reach. Then he discovered the power of breath. He sat each morning and allowed himself to breathe deeply. He placed his hand on his heart. He slowed his rhythm. He practiced presence. And slowly, his nervous system began to shift. The alarm softened. The chaos eased. His body learned safety again. And when the signal changed, so did his life. He built relationships. He found meaningful work. He stepped into a future he thought he had lost. This is not magic. It is biology. It is mechanics. Your body is not betraying you. It is protecting you. But when the protection never turns off, when survival becomes the default, your body blocks the very future you long for. Now imagine this. You close your eyes. You breathe slowly. Your heart rhythm steadies. Your brain waves calm. In that moment, your body tells the field, I am safe. I am open. I am ready. The signal shifts. The mirror shifts. The reality shifts. This is the missing key. You cannot trick your body with words. You must teach it safety with presence. You must anchor coherence through practice. This is how your antenna begins to broadcast truth. This is how the quantum field finally responds with alignment. Think of how much energy you waste in tension. Think of how many dreams you sabotage with fear. And realize this. The problem is not that you are unworthy. The problem is that your nervous system has not been recalibrated. Once you shift the antenna, the signal changes. Once the signal changes, the mirror responds. So I ask you directly, are you ready to tune your body into coherence? Are you ready to stop broadcasting static and begin broadcasting clarity? If so, release it right now. Drop the armor. Drop the tension. Take one conscious breath and let the signal soften. If you are ready to align your body with the flow, leave a meditation emoji in the comments right now. Mark the moment. Anchor the choice. Declare that you will no longer let your nervous system trap you in survival. You are choosing coherence. You are choosing clarity. You are choosing to become the antenna you were always meant to be. The field is listening. It always has been. But the question is, what have you been telling it through your body? Fear or faith? Chaos or coherence? Survival or expansion? The answer matters, because your body speaks louder than your mind. And the quantum mirror always reflects the truest signal. So pause. Feel your breath. Feel your heart. Feel your body. And ask yourself this. What thoughts are truly creating the reality you live in now? Not every thought carries the same power. Have you ever wondered why some of your affirmations feel empty? Why you can repeat the same words day after day and still nothing changes? Why one thought seems to vanish while another cuts through reality like a blade. This is not random. This is not failure. This is mechanics. The truth is simple. Scattered thoughts scatter energy. Coherent thoughts concentrate energy. And the quantum field does not respond to the content of your words. It responds to the coherence of your signal. Think about light. Ordinary light spreads in all directions. It glows, but it does not cut. A laser, however, is focused. Every wave in alignment. Every particle synchronized. And that focus is what gives it the power to burn through steel. Your mind works the same way. A scattered mind is like a lamp. It glows, but it cannot move matter. A coherent mind is like a laser. It focuses and bends reality. So when you sit and repeat a positive affirmation while your nervous system is anxious, while your heart is unsettled, while your thoughts are racing in 10 directions, the signal is scattered. The field hears noise, not clarity. But when your thoughts, emotions, and body synchronize into one frequency, the field mirrors it with speed. Clarity is magnetic. Coherence is irresistible. This explains why you can try for months and feel nothing, and then in one clear moment, everything shifts. That single moment of alignment carries more power than weeks of frantic trying. Picture a student in California. She struggled. Her grades were slipping. She tried harder, stayed up late, recited affirmations about success. But her mind was scattered, her energy chaotic. Her results matched the chaos. One day, a mentor taught her to focus like a laser, not on the words, not on the effort, on coherence. She sat quietly. She pictured one beam of light cutting through distraction. She aligned her thoughts with her breath. Her body calmed, her energy focused. And with that shift, she studied less but retained more. Her grades rose. She won a scholarship she once believed impossible. Not through more hustle, through more clarity. This is not magic. It is the difference between scattered and focused energy. A quantum field does not reward volume. It rewards precision. So pause and ask yourself, how many of your thoughts today are scattered? How many are contradictory? One moment you want freedom. The next you fear change. One moment you affirm abundance. The next you worry about bills. What signal do you think the field is receiving? It hears confusion. It mirrors uncertainty. But imagine holding one thought with all of you. Not just the mind, the heart, the body, the breath, all aligned in one direction. That signal cuts through the noise like a laser through steel. That signal bends probability. That signal creates. Neuroscience supports this. Studies show that when the brain and heart fall into coherence, decision-making sharpens. Stress decreases. Focus increases. Your entire system broadcasts a clear message. Safe, ready, aligned. And the field reflects it back. You may think this requires perfection. It does not. It requires presence. It requires you to stop scattering energy across endless fears and distractions. It requires you to choose one thought, one frequency, and hold it steady. This is why so many fail with affirmations. They are saying the right words, but sending the wrong signal. They are speaking abundance while broadcasting fear. They are declaring clarity while embodying chaos. The field responds to the signal, not the script. So now you stand at a choice. Do you keep scattering light, or do you sharpen it into a laser? The lamp glows. The laser transforms. Which will you be? Take a moment now. Feel the difference between noise and focus. Notice how your body shifts when you breathe into one clear thought. This is your power. This is your antenna. This is the way to bend reality. If you are ready to stop scattering and start aligning, declare it now. Write in the comments, I choose clarity. Mark this moment. Anchor the choice. Let the field hear your signal loud and clear, because the truth is not hidden anymore. Not every thought carries the same power. Only the coherent ones move the world. So I ask you now, if scattered thoughts cannot bend reality, where do your deepest desires come from? And how do they rise when your signal is finally aligned? Not every desire comes from your soul. Have you ever stopped to question the wants that drive you? Have you ever wondered if the goals you chase, the dreams you repeat, even belong to you? Or are they borrowed from a culture that tells you what success should look like? Money, status, approval, applause. And yet when you reach for them, why does something still feel empty? The truth is piercing. Not every desire is authentic. Not every craving is born from the core of who you are. Some are shadows. Some are masks. Some are echoes of voices that are not yours. Your true desire is different. It is not noise. It is frequency. It hums beneath the surface like a tuning fork waiting for resonance. When you align with it, you feel alive. When you betray it, no amount of reward can fill the gap. The quantum field responds to resonance. Like attracts like. Vibration pulls vibration. When your energy matches your authentic design, opportunities emerge as if by magnetism. But when you chase the wrong signal, the field mirrors confusion. You run, you hustle, you reach, and still you starve. Think about this. A laser beam only cuts because its waves are in sync. A scattered light bulb cannot do what a laser does. Your desires operate the same way. Scattered wants dilute your power. Authentic resonance amplifies it. Picture an engineer in Silicon Valley. He had everything society promised. A high salary, a prestigious role, respect from colleagues. But every morning, a quiet ache followed him to work. Because the signal of his soul was music. Not machines. Not management, melody. He ignored it for years. He convinced himself that stability mattered more than passion. Until one night, he could not lie to himself any longer. He quit. He walked away from the safe path, and he picked up his guitar. He began to play again. Not for money, not for approval, but for resonance. Within months, doors opened. A recording opportunity, a growing audience, financial flow that arrived faster than his corporate salary ever had. Why? Because he finally aligned with the frequency of his authentic desire. The field mirrored the resonance of his soul. This is not chance. It is law. The field does not reward what looks good. It rewards what is true. Your authentic longing is the map. Your resonance is the magnet. So now you must ask yourself, are you chasing what others told you to want? Or are you listening to the quiet hum beneath your ribs? The whisper that will not leave. The pull that no achievement silences. Pause and feel it. There is a difference between wanting and knowing. Between craving and calling. Between chasing and resonating. One leaves you exhausted. The other fuels you endlessly. This is the secret most will never face. Because it requires honesty. It requires you to admit that much of what you thought you wanted was never truly yours. It requires you to let go of borrowed dreams. And that is terrifying. But it is also liberation. Quantum physics calls it resonance. When two frequencies match, energy flows effortlessly between them. Your soul is already vibrating. It has its own design, its own note in the symphony of existence. When your choices match that note, life flows. When your choices oppose it, life resists. So think again. Which of your desires come from the mask? And which come from the marrow of who you are? Your answer will shape the life you live. This is the turning point. To ignore the whisper is to live someone else's dream. To honor it is to step into the life that was waiting for you all along. If you have ever felt the quiet pull of your soul, declare it now. Type yes in the comments. Let it be your signal. Let the field mirror your choice. Because the moment you align, the mirror shifts. The moment you resonate, reality responds. And here is the question that carries us deeper. If your truest desires are born from your soul, then what stops you from fully living them right now? Procrastination, fear, doubt. They are not enemies, they are signals. What if everything you have been taught to hate about yourself is not weakness, but guidance? What if the hesitation, the delay, the trembling in your chest is not failure, but direction? You think resistance means you are broken. But what if resistance means you are close? Pause and feel it. Every time you move toward something that matters, the shadows rise. Every time you dare to step forward, fear whispers louder. Why now? Because the closer you come to alignment, the more your nervous system shakes. It is not sabotage. It is recalibration. Science has a name for this. Healing crisis. When the body begins to restructure, old patterns surface. Old symptoms flare, not as proof of failure, but as evidence of change. The storm means the system is shifting. The discomfort means the structure is dissolving, Dot. So why do you attack yourself? Why do you call it laziness, weakness, failure? You are misreading the signs. The fear is not punishment. The fear is a signal. A message that you are moving into deeper coherence. Dot. Think of your own life. The moments you wanted something so badly, but found yourself frozen. You delayed. You doubted. You avoided. And then you hated yourself for it. But what if that pause was not self-destruction? What if that pause was integration? What if your system was adjusting to carry a new signal, strong enough to hold the future you were stepping into? This is what no one tells you. Your resistance is not the end. It is the threshold. The trembling is the price of passage. Picture an author in America. She dreamed of publishing her book, but every time she sat to write, the voice of the imposter screamed, "Who are you to write? Who are you to be heard?" She delayed. She hid. She almost gave up, until she realized the fear was proof of importance. She wrote anyway, sentence by sentence, page by page. And when the book was finished, it did not just sell. It exploded. It became a bestseller. Her fear had not been an enemy. It had been a signal that she was birthing something powerful. Dot. This is the shift you need. Stop fighting the shadows. Stop treating your hesitation as proof of failure. It is a compass. It is showing you the exact direction of your expansion. Every great story has conflict. Every hero meets resistance. Without it, there is no journey, no growth, no breakthrough. Why would your life be different? Why would your transformation not demand the same tension? So the next time you feel the weight of delay, the ache of doubt, the rise of fear, ask yourself, what is this signal pointing to? What threshold am I standing before? Because the signal only screams when you are near the edge of change. Your nervous system is not betraying you. It is warning you that you are stepping into unknown territory, and the unknown always triggers survival alarms. But you are not in danger. You are in transition. Can you reframe it? Can you see fear as evidence of alignment? Can you see procrastination as space for integration? Can you see doubt as the signpost of something worth pursuing? This is not about ignoring the shadow. It is about decoding it. It is about learning its language. Because when you stop fighting, when you start listening, the very thing you hated becomes the fuel of your transformation. So ask yourself again, what signal is rising in you right now? What fear, what doubt, what hesitation is begging for translation? Because if you hear it clearly, you will know exactly where to step next. If you have ever battled procrastination and blamed yourself, shift that story now. Write in the comments, I am ready. Say it as a declaration, not to deny the fear, but to honor it, to claim it as the threshold of your next breakthrough. This is your initiation. This is your chance to rewire the story of resistance. It is not weakness. It is not sabotage. It is the vibration of transformation moving through your body. So here is the real question. If fear, doubt, and hesitation are signals, how do you turn them into a story so hypnotic, so human, that it reaches into the heart of another and sets them free? A story can pierce straight into the heart faster than any theory. Why do you remember a story told years ago, but forget the facts you studied yesterday? Why does one sentence from a stranger's journey stay with you while endless data slides vanish? Because stories are not just words. They are experiences. They are mirrors. They are maps. Your brain is wired for narrative. Psychology proves it. When you hear scattered facts, the mind struggles. When you hear a story, the mind lights up. Neural pathways fire. Emotions awaken. Your body leans in. You remember. This is why storytelling is not optional. It is essential. If you want to inspire, if you want to move, if you want to create change, you must master the story. And here is the structure that works. Hook, conflict, solution, climax. This is the spark line. It pulls people in. It holds them. It breaks them open. And then it resolves with a release so powerful they cannot forget you. Picture it. The hook is the door. It grabs attention. It whispers, you must listen. The conflict is the tension. It twists. It builds. It forces the audience to feel. The solution is the light. It reveals possibility. It shifts perspective. And the climax is the heartbeat. It delivers impact. It leaves the audience changed. This is why great leaders tell stories. This is why movements begin with narratives. Not spreadsheets. Not statistics. Stories. Think of a YouTuber in Los Angeles. He once lived in addiction. Lost in substances. Lost in despair. Every day was another spiral. And then one day, he reached a breaking point. He sought help. He rebuilt his life. He recovered. And then he shared his journey. Raw, unfiltered, honest. Millions listened. Millions related. His story became medicine. His story became movement. His story built an empire. Why? Because people do not want perfection. They want resonance. They want to see their own shadows and their own light reflected in you. This is your power. Your pain can become narrative. Your failure can become hook. Your healing can become climax. And in telling it, you do not just free yourself. You free everyone who hears you. So ask yourself, what story are you carrying right now that could set someone else free? What conflict in your life could become the heartbeat of another person's hope? Because every scar has the potential to become spark. Do not underestimate the simplicity of language. You do not need complicated words. You do not need flawless delivery. The most hypnotic stories are told with plain sentences and raw truth. Because the power is not in complexity. It is in connection. Imagine this. A single line from your story could stop someone from giving up tonight. A single scene could remind them they are not alone. A single climax could shift the way they see their entire life. That is the force of storytelling. So now, stand at the threshold. You can keep hiding behind theory, behind data, behind perfection. Or you can step forward and share the story only you can tell. The one written in your scars. The one humming in your chest. If you are ready to become that storyteller, signal it now. Press like. Comment, I am ready. Declare it. Anchor it. Step into it. Because the world does not need another theory. It needs your story. And here's the question that will take us deeper. If stories have the power to hypnotize the heart, then how can simple language alone touch the deepest layers of the mind? The most complex thing becomes simple the moment you find the right metaphor. Why do some words fall flat while others ignite fire in your chest? Why do some explanations confuse you, while one simple metaphor suddenly makes everything clear? Because the brain does not remember complexity. It remembers symbols. It remembers pictures. It remembers stories. Your mind craves connection. And metaphor is the bridge. It takes the abstract and makes it touchable. It takes the invisible and makes it visible. It takes the impossible and makes it possible. Think about it. When you describe desire as a radio frequency, people understand. They feel it. They imagine tuning the dial until the music is clear. That is how the field hears you. That is how alignment works. When you describe thought as a laser, people get it. They know the difference between scattered light and focused light. They see how precision cuts through chaos. That is how coherence works. When you describe the quantum field as a mirror, people feel it. They know how a reflection never lies. They know the image changes only when they change. That is how manifestation works. Science confirms this. Linguistic research shows that metaphors light up more of the brain than plain words. They activate memory. They stir emotion. They create resonance that raw data cannot touch. So ask yourself, are you overwhelming people with jargon? Or are you painting metaphors that sink straight into their subconscious? A teacher in America proved it. On a TED Talk stage, he stood before millions. He could have drowned them in terms, in theories, in complexity. But instead, he offered one metaphor. He told them the brain is like a search engine, that every thought is a keyword, that the results you get in life depend on the words you feed into your system. It was simple. It was clear. It was unforgettable. The talk went viral. 10 million people listened because the metaphor did what theory never could. This is the power of simple language. You do not need to impress. You need to connect. You need to bypass the intellect and speak to the nervous system. You need to bypass analysis and speak to the imagination. And here is the truth. People do not remember statistics. They remember symbols. They remember the picture you painted in their mind. That picture becomes a hook. It becomes a reference point. It becomes a trigger for action. So ask yourself again, what metaphors can you use to turn your message into a memory? What simple images can you offer that make the invisible unforgettable? Because your words have the power to hypnotize. Not through complication, but through clarity. Not through force, but through resonance. Imagine your own voice carrying metaphors that people repeat to others. Imagine someone saying, I heard this story once. I heard this metaphor once. And remembering you. That is how messages spread. That is how movements grow. Not through endless explanation, but through one unforgettable symbol. This is your invitation. If you want to become a hypnotic communicator, choose simplicity now. Leave a comment that says, simple is power. Anchor it, declare it. Because the moment you do, your own language begins to sharpen. Your own metaphors begin to rise. And here's where we go next. If metaphors make the complex simple, then what is the one element that makes you truly irreplaceable? People do not connect with perfection. They connect with authenticity. Have you ever wondered why some people speak flawlessly, yet no one listens? And why others stumble, cry, or admit their flaws, and suddenly the room leans in? It is not the polish that captivates. It is the truth. You think you need to hide your cracks. You think you need to present the perfect version of yourself. But here's the secret. Your cracks are the very places where others see themselves. Your wounds are the doorway to connection. Your vulnerability is not weakness. It is the bridge. Research proves it. Brene Brown, a renowned researcher in America, spent years studying human connection. Her conclusion was clear. Vulnerability is not optional. It is the foundation. It is the birthplace of intimacy, trust, and belonging. And yet you resist it. You fear judgment. You fear rejection. You fear that if people see the truth, they will walk away. But the opposite is true. When you reveal your truth, the right people come closer. When you show your humanity, you give others permission to show theirs. Think about it. When was the last time you felt deeply moved? It was not by someone's perfect mask. It was when someone shared their pain. It was when someone admitted their failure. It was when someone dared to be real. Picture a speaker in America. She stood on stage, not with a triumphant story, but with heartbreak. She shared her divorce. She shared her shame. She shared the nights of doubt and despair. And instead of losing her audience, she gained them. Her raw honesty made her unforgettable. Her authenticity made her a global voice of inspiration. This is the paradox. You spend your life polishing the mask, when what people crave is the face beneath it. They do not want your perfection. They want your presence. They want your honesty. They want your truth. So ask yourself, what are you hiding? What pain, what flaw, what fear have you buried, convinced it makes you unworthy? Because that very part may be the key to your greatest connection. Authenticity does not mean spilling everything. It means alignment. It means no longer pretending. It means showing up as you are, not as you think you should be. And here is the truth. Your uniqueness is not in your mask. It is in your scars. Your identity is not forged in perfection. It is forged in the moments you thought would break you. And those moments, when shared, transform others. So stop resisting your humanity. Stop treating vulnerability as weakness. It is your power. It is your magnetism. It is the very thing that will draw people into your orbit. Imagine this. You share your story. You admit your fears. You allow your voice to tremble. And instead of rejection, you see eyes widen. You see heads nod. You see people whisper, "Me too." That is the magic of authenticity. It turns strangers into family. It turns an audience into a community. If you are ready to live this truth, anchor it now. Leave a heart in the comments. Not as decoration, as declaration. As a signal that you choose authenticity over perfection. As a choice to connect, not to perform. Because here is the deeper truth. You are not inspiring when you are flawless. You are inspiring when you are real. You are not unforgettable when you are perfect. You are unforgettable when you are human. So let the world see you. Let the cracks show. Let the scars breathe. Because the moment you do, you unlock a connection that no performance can ever replace. And here is the question that takes us forward. If authenticity and vulnerability are the keys, then how do you turn every lesson of your life into a step of personal transformation? The moment you stop proving is the moment you start receiving. Have you ever wondered why the harder you try to control, the further everything seems to slip away? Why the more you push, the more resistance you meet? Why the more you fight for certainty, the more uncertainty you attract? It is not because you are failing. It is because you are gripping too tight. Control is a cage. And the tighter you close it, the less space the universe has to move. You think control will keep you safe. But control is what strangles flow. The paradox is this. The more you try to prove, the less you receive. The more you release, the more you are given. Science confirms it. Research on flow states shows that when people let go of over-control, their performance skyrockets. In flow, The brain enters coherence. The body relaxes. Energy synchronizes. Ideas emerge. Actions feel effortless. What once took hours now takes minutes. What once felt heavy now feels light. Think about your own life. How many times have you burned out chasing results? How many nights have you stayed awake, planning every detail, worrying about every outcome? And yet, when did the real breakthroughs arrive? Not when you were gripping, but when you finally let go, when you trusted, when you surrendered to the moment. Picture an Olympic athlete in America. He trained for years under immense pressure. Every practice filled with the weight of expectation. Every movement rigid. Every mistake magnified. And his performance suffered. Until one day, he made a radical choice. He stopped trying to prove. He stopped fighting the pressure. He decided to enjoy the moment. He let go. He trusted. And in that surrender, he found freedom. He moved with ease. He competed with joy. And he won gold. Not because he fought harder, but because he trusted deeper. This is the truth you need to hear. Letting go is not weakness. It is strategy. It is energy alignment. It is the signal that tells the field, I am ready. I am open. I am here. So ask yourself, what are you gripping too tight right now? What dream are you strangling with control? What outcome are you chasing so hard that the field cannot breathe it into being? Release it, not as giving up, as giving over, as letting the current carry you instead of thrashing against it. Because the river was always meant to move you, but only when you stop resisting the flow. Imagine this. You let go of the need to prove. You stop rehearsing every move. You surrender the outcome. And suddenly doors open. Opportunities arrive. Solutions reveal themselves. Not because you forced them, because you allowed them. This is not passive. It is powerful. It is the boldest move you can make in a world addicted to force. So take this as your invitation. If you are ready to step into the flow, write in the comments, trust. Let that be your declaration, not just to the world, but to yourself, to your body, to your soul, that you choose to stop proving and start receiving. Because here's the secret. The universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to alignment. It responds to trust. It responds to the frequency of someone who already knows they are supported. So now the decision is yours. Do you keep fighting, controlling, proving? Or do you release, allow, and trust? One path keeps you exhausted. The other sets you free. And this leads us to the final question. If surrender opens the door, then what is the very last step that allows you to act immediately? True power does not live in tomorrow. It lives in this moment. How many times have you told yourself you will begin when the timing is perfect? How many times have you waited for more money, more clarity, more confidence? And how many times has tomorrow arrived only to look exactly like yesterday? The truth is undeniable. The future is not where change begins. Change begins now. Every second you hesitate, the window closes. Every delay is a decision. Every excuse is a signal to the universe that you are not ready. And the field listens. It mirrors your hesitation with more waiting. It mirrors your delay with more delay. But the opposite is also true. One small action in this moment flips the signal. One tiny move tells the field, I am here. I am ready. I choose now. Neuroscience proves it. When you act immediately, your brain releases dopamine. The system responsible for motivation awakens. Momentum builds. Energy multiplies. Your entire biology shifts from waiting to creating. Think of the girl in Chicago. She dreamed of building a platform, but she felt unprepared. Her camera was cheap. Her editing was clumsy. Her voice was shaky. If she had waited, nothing would have happened. But one night she chose to act. She posted her first video. It went viral. Millions watched. That single decision became the seed of a $1 million career. Not because she was ready, but because she acted. This is the lesson. Perfection is the greatest illusion. Readiness is the greatest lie. You are not waiting for the right time. The right time is waiting for you. So what can you do in this exact moment? Comment, like, share, declare. Do something that plants a signal in the field. Because when you move, the mirror moves. When you act, reality bends. Stop thinking you need to know the whole path. You only need to take the first step. And when you do, the next one appears. The staircase is built while you walk it, but only for those who begin. So hear this clearly. If you truly want change, you must move now, not later, not when you feel ready. Now. Type in the comments. Now, let that be your declaration. Like this video if you feel the fire rising. Share it with someone you know is waiting on the edge of their own breakthrough. And subscribe so you never lose the reminders that keep you aligned with your true power. Because you are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are one decision away from momentum. One breath away from alignment. One choice away from a future that will not wait forever. So I ask you, standing at this threshold, will you keep waiting for the myth of the perfect moment? Or will you act right now, in this very second, and let the universe mirror your choice? The question is simple. The answer is yours. So will you keep waiting? Or will you begin now?